The Fox City SCORE chapter and WHBY are pleased to bring you Biz Talk, a chance for you to hear from entrepreneurs and professionals as they share their experiences from starting to sustaining growth. Learn the skills needed for your business to be successful. If you missed anything, you can catch the Biz Talk podcast at biztalkwithscore.com. And now from the Myron Construction Studio, it's Biz Talk on WHBY.
Good morning and welcome to Biz Talk. My name is Terry Finch, and I'm the co-host this week. And joining me as co-host is Rick Sense. How are you, Rick?
I'm doing well, Terry.
Thank you for joining us. And we've got with us this week a special guest. First is Bill Devine. Bill is a mentor and has been with SCORE well over 20 years, and he mentors our guest today. But welcome to the show, Bill.
Well, thank you for having us.
Okay. And our guest today is Evelyn Malave. And she is the owner of Goly and Eve Puerto Rican Kitchen and has a great story to tell you today about her business and what she's done. And so we're really looking forward to that. But let's start with welcoming Evelyn. Evelyn, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So first of all, Evelyn, tell us about yourself and how you got to the point where you wanted to start this business.
Okay. That's a lot. So, my name's Evelyn. I come from Massachusetts. I've been in Wisconsin now going on 4 years in September. I came over to Wisconsin because I have a 8-year-old now, almost 9, that has autism. And Wisconsin does have a lot of programs for kids with autism. So that's the initial reason why we got here. When we got to Wisconsin, we saw that there was not a lot of different options for food. So that is where actually my partner said, oh, we should open up something. We should open up a food truck or something. That's really how everything started from there.
Okay. So,
Evelyn, given your heritage, so what makes you a little bit different? Yeah.
Okay. So I am born and raised in Springfield, Massachusetts. My mom gave me and my brother up when we were 5 and 6. So my grandmother took us to Puerto Rico. I came back to United States, to Massachusetts when I was 17. I already had my first daughter at 17, so I came back. But my grandparents raised me over in Puerto Rico. That is where I get all of my cooking and all of my flavor from. Yeah.
So when you came back, did you know you wanted to eventually be in the food service business, or did that come?
So when I came back at 17, I actually, back in Massachusetts, I went over to Chicopee, Westover Job Corps. I was a student there for about a year, and I took culinary arts. I graduated with my culinary arts certificate, but I moved out to Lynn, Massachusetts, and I could not get a job in the field because I had no experience. So I want to say I always had a passion for cooking. I never really pursued it until I moved here. My background is medicine. I am a certified phlebotomist. Prior to this, I worked in the medical field as a CNA, medical assistant, and phlebotomist for almost 18 years.
Okay. So you moved to Wisconsin and saw there was an opportunity. First of all, did you believe you had the food and the recipes that people would love to have?
No. No, I did not. Absolutely not. So when we got here in September, we took a few trips to Milwaukee, because down here, the Fox Valley area doesn't really have anything besides taco. I'm not really a taco person. So we took a few trips up there. We found a few places with Puerto Rican food. But it was just not, I mean, the trip and the amount of money we were spending was not, I have 7 kids. So, if I go into a restaurant and I have to spend $30 a plate, then not all of us are going to eat. We're going to have to share because there's a lot of us. It's the truth. So I went up there and it was just three of us. We spent like $80, and the food, the quality, it was just not it. So I've always, I have a big family, so I've always cooked, and my partner was like, we should start something. And believe it or not, I have a lot of recipes from my childhood, my grandparents. My grandfather's actually a chef, that I learned throughout the years. But everything I've learned and mastered, I've learned it on YouTube, or I follow popular restaurants in Puerto Rico. I think one of my God-given talents is that I learn by seeing, so I can see something and I can, change it and make it mine. Yeah.
Okay. So you decide that it's a good idea to start something with Puerto Rican food. How did you go about doing it?
So, the person that sold me the, when we moved to Little Shoe, I bought, a trailer in Little Shoe. Then I met, her name is Cheryl. I met Cheryl. She was the park manager at the time, and she was here in Wisconsin for about 8 years. So, when I approached her and I told her, I think I have an idea. What do you think about it? She's like, you know what, go for it, because Wisconsin's not ready for you. She's like, go for it. So she kind of opened the doors to a lot of different places. She set me up with Dennis, which he's been amazing. In order to open a food truck in the state of Wisconsin, you need a home base. So I started off with him. He rented me his kitchen. Cheryl worked for a law office in Little Shoe. So she kind of told me where to go and how to go about permits and everything. So honestly, I met a lot of good people in Wisconsin that have helped me a lot. So.
Okay. So you had to start from the beginning, learn the food safety and commercial kitchen rules, learn the legal rules, have somebody help you, and build from the ground up. Was it a trailer? A food trailer?
We have a food trailer, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And is that where you started? What you started with as a business, or?
Yes.
Okay.
We started off food trailer June of 21.
Okay. So where did you go to sell your product? How did you learn about where the food events were, and how did you go about doing it?
Okay. So that's a good one. I didn't have where to park. I got a hold of the village in Little Shoe and I asked. So each town here is different. The village does not allow you to park on their public roads. You can only park in a private property with permission of the owner. So I met another person that helped us out a lot. Bill, actually in the Double O. He had a shop there. He recently retired also. I went up to his shop and I asked him, if we could park the food truck there and how much was it going to cost. And he was like, you know what? You can park the truck there, hook up to the electricity, get some water if you want, and just give me a few plates of food for me and the employees. Cause I love to see young businesses succeed. I was like, really? He was like, yeah. And I mean, that's where we started, in the Double O and Little Shoe. And it was a success, honestly. People would drive by. I think on our third day, we sold out completely out of everything. Everything. I mean, the amount of love that we got and support from the community, it was incredible. It was really breathtaking.
Okay. So going into the first day, I'm assuming you were pretty nervous about how many people were going to show up, though.
Oh my God, I thought no one was going to show up. We were going to take all of our food. It was going to be a disaster, but it wasn't. It wasn't. It was good.
Okay. So after 3 days, you realize you might have something here. Where did you go from there?
So after the 3 days, I mean, we stayed there. I just kept looking. Honestly, I really didn't look for anything. It came to me, like people would reach out, they would call. I would get like different texts from different people, asking us like if we can, be at their event. We got a few weddings that they booked our trailer, and, honestly, all our advertising has been word of mouth. I mean, I never done anything like big. I mean, I have like my own Facebook, and I just started a TikTok, which I really have no idea what I'm doing, but um everything has been, like a family passes by and they bring their aunt, uncle, and I didn't know that Wisconsin had so many Puerto Ricans.
So you're in Little Chute. I know you do quite a bit of business in Green Bay now. How did that come about?
So Green Bay, honestly, the majority of our clients are based out of Green Bay. Like right now on my truck, like I'm inside the car because we open up the food truck from 1 to 10, Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and then Sundays is 2 to 8 in Green Bay. And we sell out every day. Like I started buying 50 pounds of plantains, and I am up to 400 pounds of plantains in 4 days. My goal is to leave the food truck has, everything is based off of plantains. Like I can make tacos off plantains. I make burritos off plantains. Everything is based off plantains. And our traditional like rice, pork, yuca is a root vegetable. But yeah, the truck is down in Green Bay right now because our biggest clientele is here.
What's the biggest challenge you have with the truck?
The biggest challenge I have with the truck right now is honestly running it. Running it. It's just me. Getting people, it's so hard to get people that want to work. It's something I've been working with Bill. Just I train them and then they leave. They'll do training for 2 to 3 weeks and they leave. I was running the truck 6 days a week, but I mean, as I mentioned, I have 7 kids. One of them has a lot of needs, and running the truck by myself 6 days a week it's a lot.
Now, Evelyn, you've been telling me that some of your family members are stepping up to help you now, right?
Yes. So Goly and Eve is expanded, but it's based off family. Like it's all the family that works. I don't have anyone from the outside. Cause again, we've trained people, but a lot of people think that running a food truck is just that. Like you're going to go and you're going to fry something and you're going to leave. There's the setup. There's the cleanup. There's getting rid of the dirty water, putting more water in it, the oils. You have to wait till everything cools down in order to move it. There's a lot. There's a lot that goes into working in a food truck. So when it comes down to it and they see how much work it is, people just don't want to work. They don't. It's sad, but it's true.
Okay. On that note, we're at the perfect spot for our first break. You're listening to Biz Talk with Score on WHBY, and I'll be right back after these messages.
Welcome back to Biz Talk on WHBY Radio. We're glad you joined us this morning. Before continuing our conversation, I'd like to tell you about Fox City Score. Fox City Score serves an 8-county area with offices in Appleton, Oshkosh, and Fond du Lac. We have about 45 volunteer mentors, each an expert in their field, offering entrepreneurs no-cost and confidential mentoring. Those areas of expertise include IT, social media, marketing, cash flow, accounting, strategic planning, workflow, HR, retail best practices, and many, many others. In order to register for a no-cost confidential mentoring session and or to learn more about the Fox City Score chapter, Please visit our website at score.org/Fox Cities. You can learn more about how the SCORE chapter can assist you with starting and or growing your business, and you can complete an application for a mentoring session. Simply complete the online form and submit it to SCORE. Within a few days, a SCORE mentor will be contacting you to set up a meeting. Remember, SCORE is no cost and offers experts who can offer you assistance in many different areas. To get started, visit our website at score.org/Fox Cities. Support small business people. Fox City SCORE is always looking for new mentors. If you have experience that you would like to share with others, we'd love to talk to you. We welcome volunteers with experience in all aspects of business. Small business owners need your help, and your experience can make a real difference to their success. Go to score.org/Fox Cities, click on the volunteer button, and fill out the short application, and we'll get back to you to explain more. So thanks again for joining us on Biz Talk, and now back to the show. I have to ask, Evelyn, if you run into, the struggles a little bit with the staffing at times and things like that, did you at some point realize or come to the realization in your own mind that maybe you needed to work with someone to help you through the struggles you're dealing with?
Oh, yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Yeah, and like a mentor, have you sought out a mentor? And I know I'm kind of setting you up here because we have your mentor on the show this morning as well. But can you maybe just walk us through a little bit of your relationship that you have with Bill and how he's been able to help with what you've been working through?
So, I met Bill, I believe, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, Bill, but I think I signed up for, the mentorship after I met you. I was looking around, so I found there's, a community, Latin Chamber of Commerce, I believe it is, that I also signed up for. I didn't even know it existed. But so my first year with the business, I didn't really run it. I still worked at the hospital and stuff, so I didn't really pay mind to the important things. One thing that Bill taught me was to, don't work fast, work slow and work smart. I started this and I worked fast and I didn't think about, I just thought about, let me just take the food truck off and, we'll worry about everything later. And then that later became into a big mess. So I did some homework and looked around, signed up for the Latin Chamber here in Green Bay and kept looking. And I had a meeting with Bill. And a lot of the things that he was telling me was, I don't know if it's his years of experience, but I was like, wow, it's like everything he was saying was like directed to me, my personal situation. Cause not only did I start the food truck, but in 2022, I bought a catering business, and that catering business had a storefront empty, which I turned it into my grab and go kitchen. So we also have the Puerto Rican grab and go in Kimberly. So a lot of, I was doing a lot and not focusing on the things that really needed my attention and my time. So first day I was drowning in a lot. There was way too many things going on and I was just all over the place. So, Bill came in right at the right time. Like, I mean, everything he has told me from day one are things that maybe my family knew about, but they wouldn't, approach me or tell me. But he's been, straight on from day one. And honestly, I paid a lot of attention to what he says. I got an accountant. So that took a lot of weight off of me because I don't have to deal with any of that. He's also sent me a lot of, information. I didn't even know Wisconsin had, the Fox Valley has a food truck society. I didn't know about that. That's another way of getting out there. They have over 60,000 followers. They go to a whole bunch of places. So my needs for seeking out a mentor was that I literally bit more than I can chew. I didn't say no, to the opportunity. I just wanted more and more and more, and everything piled up at once. So everything was just all over the place. And, Bill's been amazing. He's been great.
Thank you. You're a unique client. She listens to me and generally tries stuff. Now, not everything works, of course, but she's been very, very good in following up on suggestions.
Okay. So as you look at where you are now, what would you tell people who are starting businesses? Should you get a mentor earlier, or was it right to kind of wait? Did you have to learn a little bit before you were right to get a mentor?
Honestly, do your homework. Do your homework. Pace yourself. And yes, get a mentor. Get a mentor and actually listen to your mentor, because if you're seeking help, it's because you don't know everything. And I mean, I think that's like a flaw in the humans, like we want to know everything. Of course we do, but we don't. And there's people that have been maybe in your situation or mine and have more experience. So why not listen,
Okay. With that, we're at a perfect spot to take our second break. You're listening to Biz Talk with Score on WHBY. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Biz Talk with Score. This week we're talking to Evelyn Malave of Goly and Eve Puerto Rican Kitchen. Before we get back to Evelyn, I want to give you a quick update on Score and some educational opportunities we have. So if you go to our website at score.org/Fox Cities, you'll see in the upper about center of the page a tab for workshops and events. And then there's some sub-selections in there. This week I want to mention some of the online courses that we have. These are fixed webinar type of courses that you can go in and take to learn more about certain aspects of the business. And so rather than just being one webinar, it's usually a series of them. So there's 3 I'm going to mention. I think there's 8 in total, but 3 I'm going to mention is one is the Startup Roadmap, which is a really good series of 12 webinars for you to take before you start up a business. Another one is Getting Started with E-commerce, which is a series of, I believe it's 3 or 4 webinars to help you understand e-commerce before you join. And the third one I want to mention is online marketing for small business owners, because that's a question we get a lot is, how do I market online? How do I use Facebook? How do I use Instagram and other things in my email? So again, there's a third series called Online Marketing for Small Business Owners. As I said, there's 5 others out there, but if you go to score.org/Fox Cities, click on the Workshops and Events tab and select the Online Courses sub-tab, you'll find the whole list of the different courses, and they're great learning opportunities for you.
Terry, I just want to jump in here and that outline, that roadmap, that's one of the options that I really suggest to my clients, that it's broken down into 12 different sections. Each section's 2 or 3 pages, and you can pick out which ones. You don't have to follow the stuff. I'm concerned about my financing. Well, that may be number 8, so you can go right to that. So you can bounce around, and it's really very excellent list of opportunities for clients to be involved in.
Yeah, thanks for that, Bill. I use it a lot too. In fact, I tell a lot of people, don't do the business plan yet. Go through the 12 webinars, or the most important ones, and get a feeling for it. And then we can come back and talk about whether you need a business plan. But does a great job of letting you learn about all the things you need to do to start up a business. So with that, we're going to turn back to Evelyn. And Evelyn, one of the things we want to understand here a little bit is could you explain Puerto Rican food and how that differs from, say, Mexican or other Caribbean types of food?
Of course, of course. So our Puerto Rican food is not spicy at all. We use more like root vegetables. I myself am a garlic and cilantro person. I love all of my vegetables. My vegetables are all fresh. Like I want to say what gives our food, like Puerto Rican food, the flavor is the sofrito. Sofrito is all vegetables that we blend all together to make like our own little seasoning. We put that in rice and beans. I mean, in everything, honestly. So it has a lot of flavor. I have a lot of people that stop for the first time and taste like, our pulled pork, rice and beans, and the yuca, which is a root vegetable. And they say that there's so many like flavors, it's just different flavor. So yeah, we have a lot of different flavors. It's not your traditional just spicy.
So one of the major differences is not so much heat as it is spices and flavoring.
Exactly. It's all spices and flavors. There's nothing like really hot unless you get me, because I love garlic, and sometimes too much garlic can be a little spicy. That's about it.
Okay, so we're going to go back to the first segment a little bit where we started talking about your history. And you mentioned quickly that you had bought a catering business. So you have your food trailer going. Can you talk about what led you to buy the catering business?
Growth. And I mean, the food truck, like I mentioned, I was doing it part-time. I was still working at St. Elizabeth as a phlebotomist. And again, I want stability and, just, a better life. Honestly, I just want to leave my kids a legacy, my kids, my grandkids. And the catering business has been around for 29 years. So it's an established business, that was sold to me. And I just saw the opportunity of not just keeping the catering business, but turning that empty spot in the front into, our grab and go. So giving the people in the Fox Valley community a place to go taste something different.
Okay. And did you change the menu when you bought the catering business, or had it been somewhat similar to what you were selling?
Absolutely not. So the catering business, Mater's Catering, kept the name, kept the recipe, kept their website, prices, everything. I did not change anything. Everything that Dennis showed me how to make, I kept everything exactly the same. I do, however, give the customers options. I will let them know that we have the food truck or the grab and go. They're more than welcome to stop in when we're open so they can taste the different flavors. A lot of people do change the menu up a little bit with like rice or one of our root vegetables, or they want our pulled pork because it has the cuerito is called, this like the hard skin, crunchy skin. But yeah, no, I left everything for the catering business. I left it the same because honestly, for me, it was a no-brainer. Dennis has been in business for 28 years, so why would I change it?
And how is the catering business working for you?
Good. Right now it's extremely busy. The summer is really, really busy, summer and fall. So yeah, it's good.
Okay. And with the catering business, you mentioned it came with essentially a commercial kitchen. What were you using for food prep before that for your trailer?
That same kitchen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So Dennis was the one who initially helped me open up my food truck by giving me access to his kitchen. That was my home base, which is one of the requirements. So after working with dentists, so between working at the hospital and working our food truck, 3 days a week, whenever dentist needed extra help, he would call. He's like, hey, you want to learn how to do this today, or, learn how to do some stuffed mushrooms. I'm like, yeah, sure. Why not? So I started picking up and doing, everything dentist's way, honestly. And, then I want to say it was back in August of 22. He approached me one day. He was like, Evelyn, what do you think if I sell you my catering business? I'm like, I don't have money for that. I literally just started a food truck. He was like, well, I'm not asking you for money. I'm asking you if you were interested in buying my catering business. And I was like, yeah, I mean, if you show me the way. So he basically took me under his wing for 90 days. So that was August, September, October 10 of 2022. I officially became the owner of Mater's Catering. So,
Okay. So you have the food trailer. You've now got a catering business. And how long after that did you open your grab and go?
I opened that February, a month before I had my baby girl. So February 18 of 2023, I opened that grab and go. My boyfriend thought I was absolutely bonkers. He's like, there's no way. What is going on? I'm like, well, think about it. I mean, you can't really run the food truck in the winter because our water tanks are on the bottom. So everything freezes. I'm like, so we normally put her away, December, January, and February, and then bring her back out. So I told him it'll be perfect because now while I'm home with the baby, you get to run the storefront and take care of the caterings, and everything is in one building. So, why not? Yeah, I thought he was going to leave me, but he stayed.
So you like to keep busy.
I'm a very busy woman. Yes.
Yeah. So when you had started the restaurant, what were you looking for from the grab and go? What were you looking for from that business? Was that an opportunity just to experiment to see what would work, or were you planning to do something more with it?
So I was initially planning on doing something more with it. There's been a lot of complications there, but so the grab and go was more for something steady income coming in because January, February, and March caterings are not really that many caterings like in the summer and fall. So it was more for a steady source of income because I was having my daughter. It was a scheduled C-section March 16. So I was going to be out, 3 to 4 weeks, which I was really back on week 2, back to the shop. But
Surprise.
when I was brainstorming, the grab and go, I'm like, all right, so I have my family here, I showed everyone how to prep. The store stays open. We only initially opened it Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. And I remember it was February 18. We opened it on a Friday. The second week of February, I must have done 78 orders by myself. Like I was wobbling from side to side because it was just me and I was doing 3 weeks. The amount of support that just came up, because again, there's nothing like that up in the Fox Valley area, was great. It was great. Then in the summer, I want to say we opened it up 5 days a week, and I've been playing around with the hours, because there are places that serve breakfast around. So first I did like an 8 to 2. We'll get like 4 to 5 customers. And then I moved it to our hours, which are 11 to 6, and it was great. Yeah.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit more just about the catering side of the business. How does that differ from the restaurant and food truck? What do you do working with the client once you get a client?
Oh my God, the catering business is completely different. So for the catering business, we do traditional, potato, like mashed potatoes. I had no idea what au gratin potatoes were, scalloped potatoes until I moved to Wisconsin. I got to learn how to do those. Burgers and brats are a hit now in the summer. I didn't know about that either until I moved here. I had no idea what a brat was. Coleslaw, macaroni salad, tenderloin tips, stuffed chicken breasts, mushroom, caps, deviled eggs. I had no idea what that was either until I started running the catering business. I'm like, Dennis, what's a deviled egg? He's like, all right, so you're going to boil the egg. And he explained the whole thing. I'm like some of the things, my kids are like, Mom, you can't ask that. I'm like, well, if I don't know, I have to ask. I don't know what it is. Like rumaki, they're like, oh, we want hors d'oeuvres. I'm like, oh, well, let me ask what that is. 1 minute. So, I mean, for me, it's a learning experience and I love it. I mean, if I don't know something and if I'm going to make money, I'm going to put time into learning what I have to do correctly because it's going to be worth it.
Okay. Well, so, I moved to the Fox Valley for the first time in 1993, and I had no idea what a brat was either when I came here.
See?
I soon found I loved them, but so as you look at where you are today with your business, what are you thinking about for the future?
Oh gosh, this will be an exciting answer here.
Oh my God, for the future. So for the future, I want to have definitely my restaurant where you come in and you're welcome. You feel at home. I can serve you all of our traditional plates from the island. My daughter asked me the same question the other day, and I think my goal is for, like, at least when you come in, like, when I was growing up every Sunday, it was like, you were gonna go see your grandmother and you could smell the beans and the chicken, and you had that sense of, like, family and bonds, which nowadays I mean, you don't see that anymore. There's not Sunday dinners or where you can go and feel, like it's a family environment anymore. So that is my biggest goal. Like, just having a place where everyone can go and feel welcome. And it's not, I would love my restaurant to be a 5-star restaurant. Who doesn't? But I want something where it's, affordable for everyone. Definitely.
So as you look at the future, you see the restaurant as your primary vehicle for selling your food?
I see my restaurant in Wisconsin. I see a lot of food trucks that say Goly and Eat. A lot of food trucks everywhere.
Okay.
A lot of them.
So expanding the food trucks business and supporting it from a commercial kitchen at your restaurant.
Yes, because Wisconsin is huge. So big. We've been to so many places already in our food trailer. I'm like, oh my God. And everything's like so far away.
So as you do that, if you think of it with your food trailer though, when you're spending a lot of time in Green Bay, how do you build your schedule so that you can go to other events and locations?
So right now with our food truck, so for the time being, since there is no event, we're in Green Bay because that's where the majority of our clients are. When we have events, I post it on our social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, even on our Google account. Like, we'll be like now July 12 and 13. We're going to go to Two River to River Beach. There's a beach event those 2 days where we got asked to participate from 11 to 12 o'clock at night both days. So I already advertised that on our page so people are aware. Also, we don't have any events yet with the Food Truck Society for the Fox Valley, but they also do all the advertising, like wherever the food truck's gonna be, how many food trucks they're gonna have that day. So that was another source that we got also recently. And I let our customers know.
Okay. So we're at the spot for our final break. You've been listening to Evelyn Malave from Goly and Eve Puerto Rican Kitchen talk about the business she's built over the last 3 years. And we will be right back after this break to wrap things up with Evelyn. Welcome back to Biz Talk with Score. I'd like to thank the sponsors and donors who bring Biz Talk with Score to you each weekend. We couldn't present Biz Talk without their generous support. Thank you to Hailing and Associates. Hailing and Associates help small businesses and individuals not just prepare tax returns, but plan for taxes, thereby helping you minimize taxes for this year and beyond. Hailing and Associates, personal connection, positive results. A special thank you to the Business News for promoting our program in the biweekly business newspaper serving Northeast Wisconsin. If you aren't already subscribing to the Business News, you should. The paper is delivered biweekly and contains relevant and useful information about the business community in Northeast Wisconsin. We would also like to recognize the David L. and Rita E. Nelson Fund within the Community Foundation for the Fox Valley region for their generous donation and support of Biz Talk and Fox City Score. They are a new sponsor this year, and we really appreciate the donation that they gave to the chapter and to the radio show. So with that, we're going to turn back to Evelyn. And Evelyn, could you let our listeners know how they can find Goly and Eve?
Sure. So we are on Facebook as Goly and Eve Puerto Rican Kitchen, Instagram, TikTok the same, Goly and Eve Puerto Rican Kitchen. We also have our Grab and Go in Kimberly, which is 114 South John Street. It's open right now, Saturdays and Sundays from 12 to 6. And then our food truck is located, in Green Bay at 1792 Main Street. It's the mobile gas station. And our phone number would be 920-687-1000.
Okay, thank you for that. So as we wrap up the show, Evelyn, as you look back over the last 3 years, what would you have done differently now that you can see where you are today and where you started?
Honestly, I would have definitely paced myself, but I wouldn't have changed it. Moving to Wisconsin is definitely the best choice I have made for me and my family.
Okay. And what's been the most difficult part of starting up your business and running it?
The most difficult part of starting the business. Honestly, starting the business was not hard. Took a lot of hard work because everything came out of our 401k and retirement and us working for the first year. Me and my partner had full-time jobs plus the trailer. The hardest part still is running it, giving that excellent service to everyone, while we continue to expand. That's still the hardest part.
Okay. And now that you've gone full-time, any regrets?
Not at all. I love it. I love to create. You guys definitely have to stop in. I love to create different things. And like I said, my goal is to do everything based off plantains. That's my goal. I'm not there yet, but it's definitely my goal.
Okay. And as you look forward to the catering business growing, are you going to continue to try to have more offerings of your Puerto Rican food in the catering business too?
Yes, that is to come. That is something my mentor has been helping me with. Yes, definitely. I want to infuse them both. Infused.
Okay. Excellent. So, Evelyn, it's been great to have you on the show and learn more about your business. It's really neat to see somebody come in and decide they want to get into business and have the passion to really drive some of the things you've done already. So great job with that. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Also appreciate our listeners. Thank you for joining in here on WHBY or listening to the podcast. If you want to re-listen to this show or hear some of the older episodes, you can go to biztalkwithscore.com and you'll find those shows on the website. But again, thank you very much. And we've got another show for you next week. Take care, everybody.